Mic check chat. Mic check chat. Yo, so thirsty. All right, I'm on my way for realsies. Begun my journey. I'm almost here, chat. It's kind of warm in here today. I think this, like 60-degree weather is kind of throwing off the temperature in this John. What's up, you two nosy? And you two nosy. Or chat's you two nosy this morning. I'm okay with that. It's okay. Just be you and me, you know, man to man, you know. What's up, Jay Mervin? All right, that broke the awkwardness. I didn't know how that was gonna go. Just like a one-on-one stream, you know, one-on-one chat. Just felt a little awkward, you know. Yeah, we got a budget build. Christmas was good. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. Emily and I had a little bit of family over last night. Our roach ton fell over. And yeah, it was cool. We did like a little Secret Santa. Luckily, I got her younger brother who happened to need a new wireless gaming mouse. And I happen to know a place called PCBros. So I bought, it was actually a mouse that we did for Best Buy ad spot. So it was that Corsair one. Got a good deal on it. I paid like 40 or 45 bucks for it. Can't complain. What's up, HK22A? Day one of asking for, oh God, here we go. Day one of asking for a PC. Well, I can promise you, buddy, we got like probably 6, 7, no, I'm just kidding. We probably got like 800 people that do this in like our Instagram, our Facebook, our YouTube comments, a Twitch chat. Honestly, I don't think, we really like giving away stuff. We do our monthly giveaways. I don't really see there ever being like a reason or a video why we would do one of the like day 800,000 of asking for this product, you know? It'd be different if we had like really cheap stuff. I think if we had like some cheap stuff, like if we were selling clothing, sure, I'd send you a shirt. But like when you're asking for a gaming PC, especially for it to seem worth it for like a whole video, it'd have to be like $1,000+ build. And like we just can't afford that. And also like I don't want to start that precedent that, and I know Matt doesn't either. We don't want to start a precedent that if you do like a day 800 of asking for this, we're gonna just send you a PC. So Omar, that's a good question. Hey, I appreciate you looking at the website, at the new staple. So Jonah actually planned that staple, and you're exactly right on why we didn't go AM5. So most of our builds are AM5 or like the, you know, they're the latest and greatest. They're either 9000 series or Intel Core Ultra. And so it was kind of like getting a little weird. Like our website didn't really have, we had like our two Upgrade Path Pro PCs, which the problem with those is, I mean, because of how expensive RAM and storage is, those used to be like, you know, $500 builds where you could add your own GPU and be in like well under $1,000. Well now, like for example, the one I removed was the 9600X one. That build was like $900 with no GPU because it had 32 gigs of DDR5 and a 1TB Gen 4 SSD. The RAM alone is like $300 something. So Jonah playing that build, the Ryzen 5 5500, which lets us do DDR4, so and also just 16 gigs. It's kind of hard to get DDR5 and 16 gig kids. DDR4 all day, every day, 16 gigs still. So basically that build's just like a much cheaper option, and it's a really good price to performance. You know, we love like you guys know we like the 3050, even though some of you hate it. The 5050 is like a really big step up from that. Has 2 more gigs of VRAM. It's a much newer card. It's very power efficient, and on top of that, it has really good NVENC and ray tracing for it being as cheap and low end as it is. So it's a pretty sick little build. And it looks cool. I like that we're using a different Okinos case. We're not using like the Air GBU one like normal. We got a little wood front, which is really cool. Keep it up and you'll be banned. Ooh. Ooh, he said I'm not laughing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Drama alert, chat. Drama alert. But yeah, guys, so this build this morning is one of the typical ones where it's a lot of extra parts or parts that we've bought and have on hand. We have a lot of those in the back, by the way. I need to plan some builds because we have like probably 6, I'd say 5 or 6 builds that are staged where we have like, you know, a GPU. Like there's some good stuff in the back. We got one with a, I got a 4070 back there. I have a 9070 XT new in the box back there. I have another 14100F that I need to plan with a, I think it's a 2070 or 2070 Super. Almost all of them have RAM already, which is awesome. Have you seen the print yourself Fractal Terra? Is it worth it? I don't know anything about this. Like 3D print? I almost did, by the way, its agents, but I purposely didn't. What is that question about pairing a 9070 XT with something? Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you have a 5600X, either one's going to be a huge upgrade. Realistically, for like price to performance with what you have, I think the 9060 XT would better suit your build. But if you just want like to not have to upgrade your GPU again for the next, I don't know, 5 years, the 9070 XT is a great choice. And then if you decide to do like a platform upgrade, like, you know, you decide to go with like a 9600X later on, a new board, new RAM, then you can just reuse your 9070 XT. But the 9060 XT is an amazing card too. I mean, depending on what you're playing, if you're already playing with the 6600, the 9060 XT is going to perform like double the FPS and stuff like that, if I had to guess. Eagle Agent Go S, very nice. Christmas present, good thing. All right, chat, let me know. What did you guys get for Christmas? I'll go first. For the Secret Santa, I got some of those magnetic parts trays, but they're like silicone ones and they like collapse. Pretty sick. And then Emily got me this cool little, I need to bring it, I should have brought it to stream. She got me like a little cool RC forklift. It's so goofy, but it works really cool. It's kind of fun to play with. And then I got a little Lowe's gift card. Oh yeah, and the other thing too is she's gonna take me to, I'm not a Home Depot guy, but I'm a Makita guy. So we're gonna go to Home Depot maybe tomorrow or something, and I get to pick out a new battery Makita tool. I'm either gonna go with the Makita angle grinder or a circular saw. I don't know which yet, but probably whatever they have. Got socks. I didn't get socks this year. Your daughter got you the streetwear t-shirt? Let's go. Have you gotten it yet? And if so, how are you liking it? Someone bought us a new dryer from Lowe's and gave me $500? What do you mean someone? That's a crazy anonymous gift, but heck yeah. All right, let's go and start building this PC, chat. So, like I said, real simple build. Oh, I need to do a Discord announcement. Real simple build, i3 4200F 4-core 8-thread with a RX 6600. Actually a great pairing. I know a lot of you guys are probably seeing, you know, i3 and you're like, oh, isn't that gonna hold back? No, it's not gonna hold back our 6600. The 4-core and 8-thread for all the games that you'll play on this GPU are gonna be more than enough. And it's a Gen 4 capable CPU, and so is the motherboard. So this GPU will run in Gen 4 by, I think it's Gen 4 by 8 or Gen 4 by 16. So it's got everything it needs. It's good to go. Copy text, paste text at everyone. We did it. We did it, chat. Where's the other guy? He's taking the day off. Honestly, I could have taken the day off too, but I don't know. It was one of those things where I didn't plan on it, and so I just was like, yeah, I'll just come in. Why not? I got, and also I think most, if not all, of the PCBros team, besides maybe Zach, are going to be here. So I figured it'd be a good day to maybe catch up on some stuff. I also have I'm remodeling my garage, and so I've been slowly putting stuff in our dumpster, and I need to do more of that today anyways. I got a couple things that were on my list, and I was like, yeah, I might as well work. It's not a big deal. I won't work late today or anything. A lot of times I'll stay till 5, but today I'll probably head out shortly around 3. So if the 60 is 400 and the 70 is 650, I just go with the 70 for future proof. I have a microphone near me. Yeah, I mean that is a big price difference though, because I know it's kind of well, which one do I go with? I mean that is $250. So just playing devil's advocate here. Like I said, if it was me, I mean I have an RTX 5080. And before that, I ran a 9070 non-XT, which was really good. And then before that, I ran a 4070. So listen, I got good stuff. All of us here have pretty good stuff. But to be fair, I do make a living with my PC, here and at home. I like to remind people of that, where I'm like, you can get the same or better specs than me, but I'm like, just keep in mind, I make a living with it. Maybe you can too, though. No hate, no hate. How was Rismas? Rismas was good. The food was the best part. Food was great. Let me get our little secondary camera going here. You're so sick, cough, cough, I can't get out of bed. Oh. Is this real, Tyler? See, the problem with you is I can't tell. I'm like, I don't know, you really could be sick. You do like having your tummy problems. So I don't know, it could be real. You had KFC for your Christmas supper. Wow. It doesn't get much more Kentucky than that, but are you even located in Kentucky? Boop. We'll just build this right in the bamboo table, chat. Why not? Got nothing to lose, baby. Just kidding, I'll be here. All right. That's a bet. Yeah, I think we only have one more. We bought it, by the way, Tyler. That one is going to need a spraying out back. It's that what is CLX pre-built. It's not a bad price. I mean, we got it for a really good price, but it's just, man, it is dirty. I knew Brown was going to say something like that. Seeing a 4100 is crazy these days. Yep, the last i3 for now. I do have to wonder if they'll ever, I don't know. I could see Intel pulling some shit like that, like not doing i3s just because of the sole fact that they're like, well, the i5 and i7 sell better. It's like, yeah, let's just forget the budget market altogether. Whatever. As I will say, I think Intel did an amazing job with their i3, and also the i3s, you know, because under 65 watt TDP and everything, they never had any oxidization issues with any of the generations. So that's also a huge plus. What am I looking for, dude? I started looking for something and I completely forgot what I was looking for. Well, anyways. The Core 3205 supposedly thing. Well, that'll be cool if we ever see it, I guess. I mean, because I just always have felt like it's the price that makes these so good. I mean, the i3s will drop new on Amazon and Newegg for as low as like $70, which is like crazy. I mean, that's basically like Ryzen 5, you know, 5500 or 4500. But my thing is, like, I like the 5500 and the 4500, but they only go up to Gen 3. I think that's the biggest downfall with those. And we have, you know, what's funny is like with the RTX 5050, it's good, but it's the first time I've kind of seen the 5500 like kind of holding a card back. That's a video soon, by the way, chat. But yeah, most of the games that we tested, you could tell that the 5050 kind of wanted to go further, but a lot of times it wasn't being fully utilized. But it's still a good combo. It still works good. So we actually, Beard Guy, we actually do often build with used parts. When I say often, I mean really it's mainly Matt and I. Like at PCBros, most of the builds that they work on day to day are typically new. It's really just these custom one-offs that we often will use used parts. And typically it's not this many used. Like this build, for example, the i3 is new, even though I know it was in the clamshell, so it probably looked used, but it was new. But the motherboard, RAM, graphics card, and power supply are actually used. Now we do test everything pretty well before and after building it. So like usually we test all the parts before we buy them or trade them in or whatever we're doing with them. And then obviously afterwards, for anyone who's wondering, because we get asked this all the time, you know, how do you guys do your setup process? Well, once I finish building this PC, it'll go into our photo room where Jonah will then take photos of it and everything. We write down all the specs, we figure out pricing. Sometimes we do that beforehand. And then after that, we usually bring them into our warehouse where we have a bunch of stations set up. And we don't do any of that like preloader crap. Like each PC we hand load Windows 11 Pro typically onto. And from there, we get all the drivers done. We do all the updates. We usually are checking like device manager and all that stuff to make sure everything's good. This cooler is really crooked. Oh, I'm just gonna use a stock cooler anyways. I brought this cooler out thinking I might use it, but yeah. Do you do sleeper builds with ancient cases? So okay, so the sleeper builds, and that's on the website, by the way. Like we're not trying to hide whenever we use stuff. So I don't want anyone thinking that. The sleeper build is in fact, you know, an entirely used PC. Now the 3050s are new, and a lot of times the storage that we put in are new, but the rest of the build, I mean, because you can't. I mean, it's literally an 8th gen. I-series PC. You're not getting any of that stuff new anymore. And same with our dirt cheap gamers. Like we put that they're used and the cases are often beat up and stuff. But typically the people buying them are not buying them for the, oh, I'm getting all new parts aesthetic and everything. And that's why like pretty much all of our builds come with some type of warranty. Now rarely we do have builds where we'll do like, you know, a no warranty, but typically that's only if it's like from a PCBros video or something, and we're selling it for really freaking cheap. And that's really we even put that like in the full description. Like we put what warranty you get with each build in the description, and it's in a picture. So trust me when I tell you, we couldn't really be much more transparent. I think we'll do that this way. I'm gonna cut this little guy right here. Yeah, we're the trust me bros. It's like Linus Tech Tips. Trust me, bro. That's our warranty. We're the I'm good for it, bros. I'm good for it. You know what? We'll run this behind the board, actually. Yeah. Once we get it in the case. Here's how we check our coolers, chat. Good way with Intel, too, is to look at the back, and you want to check each one of those nubs, and as long as you see the piece coming all the way through and the fins spread, then you know you're pretty good. And you should be able to pick up any cooler, and like the whole board should come with it. Assuming it's not like a magnetic one, you know. He'd recommend a good RGB hub. You know, it's kind of a tough one because most of the hubs we buy come with the fans. We've used every single one of them I could think of. If you just go on Amazon and look up ARGB hub, what I normally look for is one that's powered by SATA, because you don't want one that's, you know, runs only off like ARGB. You want one that's powered by SATA, and on top of that, you want one that has enough ARGB ports to support all your fans. And I really like, assuming that you're looking for fan connections too, I really like the ones, like for example, up here in VTrue and stuff, where they come with fan headers also built in. And a lot of times you can get one with like a remote. Like you just got to think about like how do you want to control them? You know, what kind of things are you looking for? You know. The most interesting PC you built in 2025? I mean that's tough, dude. We build so many PCs every day. I mean, I would say like, we have a couple interesting ones that come to mind are our sleeper builds. I mean, those are my personal favorite. I really do like doing, I'm not saying I love doing them often before anybody gets too excited because they're a lot of work, but, and I don't want to overdo them. But sleeper builds, I really enjoy doing. I think they look sick. And yeah, they're really fun when they turn out, you know? And what I mean by sleeper build, for anyone that doesn't know, is, you know, like a case that's not meant to game, you know, from maybe like the early 2000s or even late 90s, and then putting like all gaming parts inside, but still making it look kind of old. And we did, I did that one recently too, where it was a, that like kind of purple case. That one was more of a resto mod build, because that one was meant for a gaming PC, but it was meant for a gaming PC in the early 2000s. So that one turned out really sick. And that one was fun because it was easy. Like, I didn't have to modify anything because it was already meant for a gaming PC. Oh, extra standoff, chat. You're going to attempt to fix a PC tomorrow. We got two questions. The screen goes black, fans rev up. So if it stays on and the fans rev up, that basically means it could be a lot of things. It could be your RAM, it could be your CPU, it could be your motherboard. You just bought a pure power 13-in power supply. Yeah. Be Quiet power supplies are typically really good. I'm assuming that's what that is, Be Quiet. Oh, you're talking about the new ARC card? I don't know, because at this point, I'm going to be honest, they've waited too long, I think. My main problem with the Intel ARC, for example, the B580, it's a great card. I think Intel did a really good job. My problem is it's hard to compare that card to the newest cards because it kind of came out during 40 series and 7000 series from AMD. So realistically, I would say the B580 is going to be like, I think it's probably performs the same, maybe worse in some games than like a freaking RTX 5050. And then compared to AMD, I mean, it doesn't even really get super close to the 9060 XT. I guess I shouldn't say it doesn't get close. Like, it's just not a great comparison. So that's what I'm worried about is if they, yeah, the B770 being 5070. I don't know. It's one of those things where I think it's our typical gamer, what's the term, fallacy, or fantasy, whatever it is. I hope I didn't just describe phallic like a penis-shaped object. But anyways, you know, we always do this to ourselves where we like really overhype something and then it doesn't perform anywhere near like what we think it will. And I could fully see this card either not coming out at all, or if it does, it's not going to be very power efficient, and I don't know. We'll see. You never know. You know, you never know. It's like Matt and I were talking about the other day. I've stopped getting my hopes up for most things PC related, because at the end of the day, all these PC companies are big businesses. They're here to make money, and make money they do. Make money they do. So we don't always get like what's best for us and the consumers. I say always. Most time we don't. Usually it's whatever is best for the company's pockets. You're doing a 7600X with a 5700 XT probably tomorrow. That's sick. Ooh, getting the build together is really cool too. That's probably the best way you can, you know, gift someone a build. I answered your question there, buddy. If you're talking about Pure Power, from Be Quiet, yeah, they're great power supplies. I mean, and that's something where, like, if you just Google that, I mean, I don't know if you just want the toaster for seal of approval, but to be fair, we're also not the greatest guys for judging and rating power supplies, because a lot of people hate our choices. And what I mean by that is we've used the best of the best power supplies. We've used $300-$400 units, but most oftentimes, you know, we recommend people go a little lower on the power supplies. Now we've gotten better over the years. I mean, we're not just throwing in, you know, Aries game and no-name brand power supplies like we do when we were younger, starting up the channel, especially before like the tier list and the cultists were as big. Oh hell yeah, dude! We were using anything and everything, and honestly, rarely ever had issues at all. But because of, you know, kind of consumerism and rating sites and stuff like that, and honestly just getting a bigger audience that expects more of us, I guess I should say, we have switched it up a lot. Like, really the quote worst power supply we use now is Sigotep, and that's just their 650 watt. They do have some highly rated units as well, but we only really use the 650 watts these days on like kind of lower to mid-range builds. We've used them on some very high-end builds in the past. It's just, the problem is, Linus Tech Tips, which to my knowledge is still the only place that is truly rated like the 650 watt Sigotep, and this was years ago, it was like 4 years ago now, so who knows what they've changed. They basically just said that, because at the time it was $100, at the time of reviewing, and they said there's better power supplies for the money. Now they're like $60. And the other thing that they complained about was like they didn't have the best brownout protection. So basically whenever there was a voltage drop or a voltage spike, I think it was, they weren't within like the full spec millisecond cutout time of like an 80 plus gold unit. That was basically it. And now the power supply cultist list have called it E tier because of that, or throwaway tier, or bomb tier. And I'm just like, yep, that's the people in our community. But anyways, for a lot of our higher end builds now, we use the V-True 850 watt, which is a pretty good rated unit. We really like those new Roswell 650 watt units that come with like the ATX 3.1 connector. Those are amazing too, and I think those are like C tier. This power supply I'm using right here, I honestly don't know what it's rated, but it is a 80 plus gold Challenger 850 with ATX 3.1 for an i3 and RX 6600. So honestly, the rating doesn't even matter a ton to me. It's gonna be pretty damn good. So do I prefer AMD or Intel for streaming? You know, that's a good question. Most people are asking about the GPUs. Now, on the CPU side of things, I don't really have a preference. Now, I'll be honest, I've been team AMD since they were horrible. And that's something that, you know, you can ask Matt about it when he's back, ask anyone. Him and I used to get in arguments about, like, when we were kids because, and honestly, he was right. Like, AMD sucked. I just was very, like, I've always liked the underdog. I'm an Android user. When it comes to cars, I'm normally going for, like, weird cars. Like, I'm not a big, don't get me wrong, I think Lamborghinis and Ferraris are cool, but I would much rather see a Honda Civic, like, you know, with the laptop tuning it and gap one of those, right? I've always just been like, whoever's normally the loser, I want to see them win, or even not even win. I just like seeing whenever stuff is close even. So for me, I've always been a big AMD guy. My builds at home, I think I've always had AMD, funny enough. I've built Intel thousands of times. And my PCs here at the office before, I've definitely had Intel. I remember one time I had, for my editing here, I had an Intel Pentium Gold CPU. Hello, Emily. And that was my build for a while. And then I upgraded that to like an i3, I think it was, which back then probably would have been like 8th gen. And I ran that for a while. And funny enough, I bought that PC from us. Back before we had PCBros, I bought that PC from PCBros, and that's the one that Emily, my fiance, that was her first PC ever, or her first real PC. She had like laptops before that. And it had a 1050 Ti low profile on it back when that was the cool and capable thing to do. I miss those days. Those were the absolute best. But so yeah, if I'm going to build a streaming PC right now, it depends on what the customer is asking for. I'll go either way. But if it's me, I'm probably going to kind of lean like 9600X or like 9800X 3D, something like that. Now, yeah, people did love the 12400F. The 12 Gen was amazing. 12 Gen was Intel's like comeback kind of because their 10th and 11th, mainly 11 Gen, wasn't loved because it was kind of a refresh on 10th Gen. They just added like Gen 4 support. And they were really expensive. 11 Gen was like way overpriced, and they didn't have i3s at all. It was literally just an i5 and an i7 and i9. Then 12 Gen came out. It was definitely a good redemption. They did really good, but then 13 Gen and 14 Gen came out, which is like, this is 14 Gen. And basically, media drama alert went freaking crazy because people started having this oxidization issue where the motherboards were allowing these CPUs to run at such high voltages that they were kind of killing themselves over time. Now, it didn't affect every CPU, and Intel did really good at RMAing and warrantying, where if you were having any issues, you could send them back to the CPU and they'd send you a new one, and then they released motherboard updates, microcode updates, that fixed the CPUs running as crazy as they were. So it was like a widely known issue, but people blew it out of proportion. People, like just like the power supplies and everything else, people were like, if you have a 13 Gen or 14 Gen, any CPU, they're bombs, they're horrible, don't support Intel ever again. And yeah, now we're here, and honestly, we still build with 13th and 14th Gen all the time, and we don't really ever have any issues, especially with all these new boards. They already come with that new BIOS, where the newer BIOS is on them. So you replaced your 12th Gen with the 58, hold on, you did what? Is that even the right release date? You replaced your 12th Gen with the 5800X 3D on release date? Really? Did the 5800X 3D come out during that, like, era? No, for sure, 13 and 14 Gen, if you ran them on the stock motherboards, and like I said, in my opinion, Intel even said themselves, it wasn't exactly the CPU's fault. The CPU is just like, it's like, you know, the engine of the PC, and then the motherboard is like the ECU. And the problem was the ECU, or the motherboard, was pushing the CPUs far past their limits. Now, I don't know if there was a miscommunication between Intel and the motherboard manufacturers, because normally they'll tell the motherboards what they should and shouldn't do. But yeah, so 12th Gen was 2021, 5800X 3D was, wow, 2022. All right. I honestly forgot that AM4 came out with that CPU so much later. So what did you have, a 12400F? I mean, don't get me wrong, I definitely would say the 5800X 3D would be a little bit better than the 1200F, but I wouldn't think it's like crazy better. I don't know. But I mean, hey, it's a good CPU. It's kind of legendary CPU, actually. I mean, it's, it is the first X3D CPU that I can think of. And man, they're loved, and they're very expensive now. No one should ever pay what people are asking for them, but they're loved so much that they're price hiked to hell. So you had the 6-core, 12-thread, and you got sucked into the X3D chip marketing. It was an insane boost. So you really feel like you got like a big performance boost out of doing that? I mean, it's cool if you did. I wouldn't have thought so, but if you did, you did. You know, plugging in some front panel stuff here, chat. So we got our motherboard screwed in. We got our power supply screwed in with all the screws, might I add. Fancy that. I like how we have red RAM with our, what is it, like blue ring cooler. I think you know what, I'm gonna do the Sharpie method, chat. I'm gonna do it. You guys ready to see something crazy? So this is like a little something extra you can do, and it honestly doesn't look the most amazing, but it works, it's fine. Can I find one? How do we not have a Sharpie in this building? I used to buy them by the 1,000-pack, chat. Oh yeah, we got a fresh black Sharpie, which funny enough, black Sharpie on things usually comes out kind of a purple. But we're just gonna color in that whole ring. Usually it takes a couple of passes with the Sharpie because it kind of rubs off a little bit, you know. Is this now a modded PC I can sell for more, chat? Yeah, if you're wondering why I'm doing this, It'd be nice to be able to change the RGB to like maybe like a red or a white. And our RAM is red, and like with this blue ring on the cooler, it's just not gonna look great. I will say that's something I wish Intel hadn't done. I think they did a good job with their 11th gen coolers. They were all black, and they looked pretty good. Like they were very sleek. They still were very small, especially for like the i5s. Or for the i3s, they were plenty. These i3s under these stock coolers usually don't pass like, I'd say like 80. But most of the time in gaming, you're looking at like 70, so they're solid for what they are. But I think AMD's always done a little better with their stock coolers. The cooler should be all black with maybe a subtle blue LED light. That could be interesting. But man, that would also suck though whenever you want to change the color, like, or your build's not blue themed, you know? I mean, that's the reason why I wish Intel just didn't do this blue ring. I know why they do it, is because, you know, Intel blue, like, it's kind of their branding. But AMD is red, and you don't see them, besides their reference graphics cards, which they don't really do anymore, they're not putting any red on their coolers, which is nice. Like, AMD stock coolers actually are pretty sleek. They're small, and oftentimes still not enough for a lot of the CPUs out there. At least to run cool, I should say. They're enough, but, like, you may not be getting that max performance, you know? Almost there, chat, and boom. Surprisingly, that Sharpie covered really well, like on like the first try. Normally I feel like I have to go back around it like 20 times. I'm just gonna find any spots that didn't get fully covered. Yeah, and if you really want to get fancy with something like this, by the way, chat, you know, masking tape and some spray paint can definitely go a little further than the Sharpie method, but the Sharpie method works, and it's, you know, it's removable if the person ever really wanted to reveal the blue again for some reason. You just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol or like an alcohol swab even, and that'll come right off pretty much. Sleek. Look, chat. You guys can't even tell it was ever blue, right? It almost kind of looks like an AMD Wraith cooler now, doesn't it? That guy right there. Very nice. All right, back to cablies. Cablies. Yay. I love cables. All right. I wonder, does this board have USB-C on it? Let's find out. And for the grand reveal, do we have USB-C? Oh my God, we do. What a blessing. So right now I'm doing a little bit of a motherboard pull here. Yo, is there any way to add RGB ports in your motherboard? You have 2 RGB ports, and is there a way to add more? You're gonna have to do daisy chain if you wanna do it. I mean, there's not really, because you're wanting to control them individually? Why is that? I mean, realistically, if you have ARGB is never really meant to be controlled individually. That's kind of where, and normally I'm not a fan of recommending this, but that's where companies like NZXT, Corsair, the ones that use the proprietary connectors, you know, they're each their own basically, those, when they go to a hub, they can individually send different signals to each fan. So you can do different color schemes, different modes. Lee & Lee's another one. But ARGB, the whole point of it is a simple 5-volt header that just, literally, it gets power, it gets ground, and it gets a signal that tells it what colors to do. I mean, there's ways you can do it, but if you only have 2 headers, you're gonna have 2 separate signals, basically. Even a hub, U2Nosy, I've never seen a hub that can send individual paths to each ARGB header. Is this live? No, it's not. No, this is pre-recorded. I had a feeling someone right now at 9:34 a.m. Eastern Standard Time was going to ask me if it was live, so I went ahead and pre-recorded me saying this part. No, we are not currently live. We typically stream Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you catch us during that time, we will be live. Your board got enough RGB plugs to plug into a Christmas tree. And yeah, board RGB you can individually control typically. Whenever you get the software downloaded, it'll, you know, show you which spot. No audio. I don't believe you. I don't believe you, playa. I did have a good Christmas. I was telling Chad about that before you got here. It it was a good Christmas. I'm excited to see some PCBros team today. I know we're missing Zach today, but I think everyone else would be here. Hopefully. Me hope. All right, let's do HD audio. Oh my gosh, you're so right. I totally forgot about the sweater. Yikes. Honestly though, it's pretty hot today. Well, I say hot. It's not hot outside. It is going to be like 64. But man, in this room, if I had to guess, let me see what the thermostat says. And the thermostat is not the hottest point in the room. Where I'm standing is the hottest point by far. But our thermostat is currently at 73 degrees. So I'm going to guess where I've been standing. I'm going to say about 75 degrees. In a long sleeve sweater, I would be like heat stroking right now. ARGB header. Look, and it has green on it. It's got the green. Are gaming laptops going to get expensive due to RAM and SSD? Yes, they will. They definitely will. We're not seeing it a ton yet. I am starting to see laptops offering less RAM typically for the same price that they were, but they haven't really been raising the prices yet. They've just been more so doing like single channel RAM more often and just like giving you less of the RAM for the same price. So it's a good way to keep the consumers happy because a lot of them don't really even know what RAM is. And so rather than raising the price and then people just being really confused, like why is this Dell laptop so much more? If they simply just raise or lower the amount of RAM and keep the price the same, consumers will be much more happy with that. Consumers that don't know what they're looking for, I should say. All right, I'm gonna loosen this. I want to run that USB 3 behind the board actually. It'll look a little bit cleaner. How about phones? Will their prices go up too? Well, yes and no. I think phones will do a similar thing. I think most people can agree that a lot of phones have too much RAM. I say too much. They have, because it was so cheap and they're like, why not? And it's a selling point, especially for freaking Android, like Samsung and stuff. Those had more RAM than they needed. Intel's a good example, or not Intel, but Apple's a good example. The Apple's whole joke has always been like they give you like the bare minimum amount of RAM because they're just like, you don't need any more of it. And funny enough, I just love, Matt was going to show me on Twitter. Intel basically said, hey guys, we're not going to be charging any more for our RAM upgrades and stuff like that. And all the comments are like, yeah, you guys already charged $400 for an extra, 16 gigs of RAM. Like, of course y'all don't need to raise your RAM pricing. Oh, Intel. You guys are Intel. Jesus Christ. I can't stop thinking. It's like back in the day, Intel and Apple, they just work together so much. My brain still calls them like sister companies. Even though I guess they probably never were sister companies. In my mind, they were. I think they just liked using Intel. That was honestly such a good move for Apple, though, like switching from that, because, man, their products were just getting expensive, and they were falling into Intel's same issue where, like, they were not seeing performance gains for how much they were charging. But those M chips are just so much more power efficient, and they're much more powerful in general. And I'm not even a MacBook guy. I'm not even a Mac user. I'm not even an Apple guy. So, I respect them, though. All right, we had an ARGB header, but we're not even going to use that because the motherboard has a button. And we don't have any other ARGB on this whole build, or any RGB, I should say. So, simple. What's up, Dingleberry Enjoyer? That is a name, man. That is a name. You have DDR5 with RGB. They're at least not bright, still annoying that I can't turn them off. You should definitely be able to turn it off. What brand is it? I mean, because all RGB RAM that I've ever had is controllable by either the motherboard software or whatever software the RAM might use. So like with Corsair RAM, 110% you can turn it off. That just uses IQ. And if it's like Team Group or PNY or one of those brands, those should be controlled by the motherboard. And you should be able to turn it off. I mean, should be able to. I'm not saying it's, there's a chance that you can't. I just am not used to seeing that. Trying to think here of how I want to do this shove method. I've already kind of filled the the hard drive cage. Here, we'll just do this. I'm gonna take out that cable. Oh wait, I'm gonna need one of these. What am I doing? I forgot our 6600 does not use a 16 pin. No, it does not. Mine doesn't have, I think it's enough RGB from an AIO cooler plus 4 fans. I don't know what's going on, chat. Me confused now. Me don't know who I am anymore. All right. As James Hetfield once said, all right. Does anyone know what song that is? All right. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Still seeing it tonight. Looking for you to start up the fight. Not sure. Oh, because you're on Linux. I'm sorry. Linux problems. It's like I always say, chat. Linux is great. I love Linux. It's like Donald Trump right now. I love Linux. I think it's a great operating system. But for ease of use and just the most compatibility, Windows is definitely still winning. Sadly. Very sadly, right, chat? But yeah, that's 100% why. Because I would say if you can get IQ working, you can do anything you want to that RAM. You can do like individual sectors. You can save to memory, like turning the RGB and stuff like that off. But you know, that's obviously more of a Corsair Linux thing to hash out, which I'm sure they will. Corsair has always been, in my mind at least, a pretty progressive company when it comes to like making their RGB better. Like one thing that they've done that's amazing is the whole device. You know what? Actually, Broom and Shaman guy, Beardman. Here's a crazy idea. All right, if you can get Windows temporarily, and this is a lot of work, or put the RAM in a different PC that has Windows, install IQ, open IQ, change the RAM to whatever color or turn the RGB off, and then save it to memory, which will save it to the actual RAM. You should not need the program after that, and it should just keep the profile. Like the RAM itself should have a small little amount of memory on it that actually stores the selections that you made. That's the thing I was saying I love about Corsair, is that they added that in the last couple years to where now you no longer even need their software. You can just temporarily download it, or even download it somewhere else, change the RGB to however you want, and then you should be able to, it should stay like that forever. Thoughts, chat? Am I am I cooking here? Is that a smart idea? Because I felt pretty good about that one. That felt like a big brain, like Jimmy Neutron brain blast moment. I just realized, did anybody ever even name the song that I was going for there? Anybody? I bet someone named it and I just wasn't looking, but I need to know if anybody is cultured here, you know? Jimmy Neutron. Brain blast. Seek and destroy, yep. All right. All right, we got some cultured individuals here. We got some people over the age of 30 here. Not me, though. I'm just an old soul, chat. Just an old soul. I'm on my way there, though. I'm pushing 30. You were a kid when that came out? I was not even like a thought yet. Shit, my mom was a kid when that came out. I think what year would that have been? Like 19, like, was that like 80? It's like one of their first albums, right? Kill 'Em All. Is that like 19? Okay, 83. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Trade-in time. I'm saying, get the newer model. Look, you know what they say, chat. They don't ride like they used to, though. You know what I'm saying? They don't ride like they used to. You don't want to trade in for all the bells and whistle when you got old reliable. You know what I mean? Like what if the new model be breaking down all the time? All right, carefully break off. I did a video on this once, by the way, guys, about the break off tabs and being really careful because some of them like touch the motherboard, and I've actually seen people break off capacitors and stuff and ruin their motherboard by doing this. So old, even my mom was a kid. Was she? No, she wouldn't have been a kid. She'd been like a whole like adult, right? 1983? Wasn't she born in like what, 57 or something? 50 something? Ugh. That was with the old motherboard. Might try it again. Yeah, if you're talking about the Corsair thing, try it. I'm referring to what you said, you goober. I don't even remember what I said. I have forgotten. I don't even know where I was 5 minutes ago. GPU time. This GPU fills this case nicely. Kind of large for the case, honestly. Shit. It's looking good. We need 2 coarse thread power supply screws, but I'm looking for my specific specialty screws. Hello? There we go. You've gotten the, what is that? I've got old locked down 3 kids. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't have to worry about any trade in there. That's a 50-year lease right there. Can't get rid of it. The new 50-year mortgage type shit. Glad to see younger folks getting good with computers. I was into computers in your teens, but didn't really do much with them until in your 30s. Oh yeah, I mean younger, I do question if it is, I feel like while Matt and I have been working on PCs, especially maybe like, I would say 2 to 3 years ago especially, I feel like PC building was like at its peak. I do kind of question if PC building is, I don't know, maybe declining slightly, not even PC building, but interest in PC building. Like, I don't really know if like the really young kids are into it as much. And one of the reasons I say that too is like our analytics. Like back when Matt and I started, I mean, we were like building and, you know, for a lot of like kind of almost kids, like they were watching, learning how to turn mom's, you know, PC into like a little gaming rig. And now a lot of our audience is like closer to like late 20s, like 30s. So kind of basically our age. So I'm like, I do have to wonder if people are getting more like our age, if more younger kids are not really getting into PC building. I don't know. Like I said, I have like no real data besides those analytics to like back that up. And I don't even know how much that's changed over the years. There is also the issue too of like YouTube doing the whole like, if you're under 13, like you can't even like watch videos, and like also for like anything that's even slightly PG-13, they want your account to be 18 years old. So kind of like, you know, me making my Facebook as a kid, like everybody lies about their age, you know, on social media just so that you're able to, I mean, most of the time it's not even to be malicious. It's literally just because we're like, well, I actually want to be able to watch these videos without, you know, it being like, you're not old enough. So just in case you want to, you know, a lot of people make their account older than it is. So that can really skew some analytics, obviously. I think with how big that is very true. Streaming has gotten so big that, yeah, there is a lot of younger people. I mean, like I said, I don't want to make it sound like there isn't younger people into PC gaming. Maybe it's just because as Matt and I are getting older, we're not really paying a ton of attention to like the younger audience. We're kind of like catering to kind of people our age. So maybe that's why it felt like we were catering to a really young audience when we were young. It might still be that way, you know, it's hard to say. Back in the day, we lied about our age to get into clubs. We're not as cool. We are not as cool. We lied about our age to play World of Warcraft. No, I was never a World of Warcraft player, but I definitely lied about my age for like Steam and stuff like that, you know, because they want you to be like 16 or 18 or whatever to be able to even get to most of those pages to check out the games, you know. Ooh, did I not plug? You know what? I bet I didn't plug in SATA. Oops. Thank you for the sub, Jay Mervin. Oh, look who got the sub, Chaotic. Heck yeah. Chaotic, were you you weren't currently subbed, were you? That works out. Thank you very much, Jay Merv. Mr. Mervin. And now I have to freaking fish out all the cables that I shoved in to try to find a SATA. Oh dear. Oh dear. Why are they all the way in the freaking back? Oh, I found one. Of course, it's like the first cable I shoved in, so they're like all the way back there. All right, let me get some of these shoved back in here. Ugh. He's staring at the wall and howling. No, definitely Forrest. Aspen does not really make a lot of noise. Aspen's like a very quiet dog. Unlike, well, he barks. If there's like people, he barks more than Forrest does. But no, Forrest really, like the husky in him is wild. Like, because he just be howling all the time at like nothing. He's a very moody dog. Yeah, Forrest is a good siren impression. Yeah, he's like a good like tornado siren. All right, so we got white RGB chat. I want you all to help me. Let's pick the color here. Bring this camera a little closer. Actually, pretty sleek looking little build. So we got white. I think this is okay. Or sorry, I think it's good. It matches, you know, Gigabyte logo and like the white on the RAM. Let's see if we can find like a red. I think red might go. Oh, RGB. There we go. I don't think these subs have a ton of modes, but I really hope they don't. All right, then we got static red. What do y'all think in chat? I'm definitely between either red or white. So that's the static red. Definitely complements the RAM really well. You know, I mean, I don't know. I think the white was actually pretty good too, but it's hard to say. All right, we got one red. All right, can we get any more votes in the chat? Yep, no problem, Chaotic. Oh yeah, word of the day. Let's do it. We're a little late, but I'll do it right now. All right, we got one vote for red, so I guess red it is. Oh, red. All right, all red and pink. That was not one of the choices. Marion. I never know how to spell this freaking. So it's Mariam. Mariam. I always thought that was Marion, like with an N. Word of the day is, I think it's grandiose. Grandiose.
Grandiose.
Grandiose. I've heard this word before. Well, apparently I know how to say it, but grandiose is usually used disapprovingly to describe something that seems impressive or is intended to be impressive, but it's actually not possible or practical. So let's see. The example is the long vacant historic building has finally been purchased, and the developer has announced a grandiose plan to make it the center of a new theater district. Interesting. Grandiose. I think no way. The PC's good. Should have had me bring some leftovers. Yeah, we honestly don't have that much. I mean, we have a lot of the other stuff, like the biscuits and stuff, but chili and meatball-wise, there's maybe like a bowl and a half or two left. Maybe 2 bowls total. That's insane. Did you eat it all big bag? I know you're freaking giggling right now off that. You're giggling because you got a reaction. You think you're so funny. But no, I did not. But you had some last night, and I also had some last night. Big bag. You probably forgot you even had some, didn't you? Chat, what do y'all think of the build? Are you liking it? Yeah, today, by the way, I'm kind of just working around the office. I have a video that I think I'm gonna be doing, like a little solo project video. It's really not even anything crazy, but just because I plan on staying till 3, and I figured, yeah, one video, why not? Keep it simple. It's either that or no video at all, but I figure with us being a slower week and being out, and we're also going to be out on New Year's Day, which is that Monday, chat? Or is that a different day? Might be Tuesday. Yeah, the C4, yeah. Oh no, it's Thursday, I'm way off. So yeah, Thursday we also will be off. It's a federal holiday, so PCBros gets paid, Toasterbros technically gets paid for salary. I definitely won't be here that day. I'll be taking off New Year's Day just to work around the house more, and assuming Emily might be home, you know, hanging out there. I just didn't feel like taking off today because I already had off. I had off yesterday, and then a lot of our employees have been off like random days this week or most of the week. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna work today, and if I get a video done, then that's great because that'll help out for since we had 2 days for most people this week off, and then next week will definitely at least be 1 day. But I know a lot of people will probably take off 2 days. So, ooh, you'll be working? What time? Early? I'm surprised they're open. Prices pick up for AM4 and DDR4. Tons of people going back to that and LGA 1700 for Intel. Yes, for DDR4. I will say, LGA 1700, having those motherboards that can handle DDR4, kind of a cool thing now. I know even back then it was kind of cool because when DDR5 came out, it was actually priced not too far off from this. It definitely wasn't this expensive. But I remember like a 32 gig kit of DDR5 when it came out was like $200+. And you know, it got down to under 200 or under 100. But now it is up to like over $300. Actually, it's more than it ever was. Yay. Oh yeah, I forgot you're doing the marketing thing. Yeah. So are you even going to actually be going into work then? Well, I guess you have to for the marketing thing. I forgot about that. Yes. Yeah, Xenos, for sure. Am I mentally ready? I thought you were asking if I was ready to announce it. Totally mentally ready, and I'm also ready to announce it. It's going to be, I think it's February 20th. That's our once a year chat that we just started last year. And it went great. It was an awesome stream. February 20th to the 22nd, we will be live for 48 hours straight. No breaks, no cuts. And if you're wondering how we do it, because none of us are that much of demons who can stay up for that long, we set up air mattresses in our B-roll room where it's nice and dark. It's pretty chill. It's actually not too hard to sleep in there. And we kind of take shifts. So it's going to be 5 people this time. As long as Jonah does not back out or someone else doesn't, it'll be both of the Zachs. Fingers counting, both Zachs, Matt, myself, and then Jonah. So as long as Jonah or like one of the Zachs didn't back out or something, how it'll work is I imagine Jonah likes to stay up pretty late, and Zach, our toasty bro Zach, really likes to stay up late as well. So I think they'll actually be coming in possibly a little later so they can sleep in. And then Matt and I will basically be streaming from 9 a.m. until probably about midnight. I can usually stay up pretty late, so I'd probably say midnight or maybe a little later. And then, you know, Matt and I will basically go to bed. Matt and Zach and I probably, Zach at PCBros, because none of us are super late guys. We'll go to bed, Zach will stay up throughout the night, and then we'll basically trade off around, you know, usually Matt wakes up hella early at like 6 or 7 a.m. I probably, unless I just can't sleep, I'm probably more of like an 8 or 9 a.m. kind of guy. But like I said, I'll usually make it a little later. Oh yeah, no, that's, I mean, Matt comes in way earlier than me usually. Most mornings, Matt's already here at like, I think he gets here around 7. Sometimes maybe like the latest, like 7:15. I usually get here around like 8:10 every morning. Now, I wake up pretty early. I'm usually a morning shower person, so I usually wake up at about 6:50 or 7. And I have to like let the dogs out, feed them. And I have a further drive too. I live the furthest of like anyone here. My drive's about, it's not that far, but it's about 15 minutes one way. Blue, sissy boys don't know about the blue collar hours. It's time to unionize, chat. I'm tired of this shit. February, my B-day is the 25th, you turn 50. Damn! No, I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. I just love the Kevin Hart skit, you know, where the guy says his age and he goes, damn. He's like, what does that mean? Chaotic, you don't seem a day over 30, man. How long did it take you to walk to work in that one video? I thank you for watching that. That's Toasty DIY. I walked with my good buddy Hunter. That took, we left at like, what time did we leave at? Like 5 a.m.? I think altogether it took 2.5 hours or something like that. It really wasn't that far. It was like 6 point something miles, like maybe 6.5 miles or so. We took a lot of back road, only a little bit of sidewalk. Most of it was just walking on the side of the road, but we left so early that honestly traffic wasn't bad. It was a chill morning. The only downside is I was sick. I remember I had just gotten, like the night before I started feeling sick, and that morning I woke up, I definitely had a cold. It wasn't anything too crazy, but it definitely kind of made it a little more sucky, because I remember my throat was dry the whole walk, and I had a cough, and I was a little fatigued and everything, but it wasn't too terrible. Oh, trust me, I've thought about doing that many times. I just honestly didn't really know if it was that interesting or fun for me, but yeah. Jackson, you were promised an RC airplane video. Yes, McAllister's working on it. Matt had to move it back. Let me actually see what day it's scheduled for. Let's see. Yeah, sadly we have to move a lot of videos like that back because of sponsor obligations. It is December 30th is when it's scheduled. So this upcoming week. That's probably like, what, Tuesday? Did you make it into the video? You might. McAllister has not edited it yet. Oh my God, that was edited. I added a lot of D's there. He hasn't edited it yet, and he has to, it's kind of, I mean, I'll watch it and approve it and everything and add corrections, but it's a longer one. Oh, the Modern Family? Like, you would have let me run the plane straight into you? 30th, yeah. So stay tuned for that, by the way, guys. I really appreciate anybody who watches those more out there videos, especially when they release. I'm not asking you guys to go and rewatch it like 20 times. That probably didn't help that much, but it does help a lot. If you watch a video on release, it helps push it much more to like the YouTube algorithm. So appreciate all the people who do that, even if it's a video you're not that interested in. Even just watching it and honestly just letting it play on your phone or the laptop or TV or whatever definitely helps. Because usually if a video doesn't get a ton of watches up front and like good comments and stuff, YouTube's not going to keep pushing it from that point, because they're like, oh, well, the first wave, if people weren't that interested, the second and third wave probably won't be. They'll usually try to push it like, once a day at different times of the day. So most videos kind of do like a wave because of when they're pushing it. But if a video doesn't do good from the rip, usually the waves are smaller. They're ripples. You should bring in the new deal guy for the 40-hour live stream. Not saying, he's a great guy, by the way, really like him, but honestly, probably not. We'd have to have a whole nother setup. That'd be a lot of work. We'd have to have like a whole nother setup. We'd have to have games that can play 6 player. It's already gonna be tough with Jonah being there. I know he's already, I'm not that worried about it, but he's already worried about, and Zach's mentioned it too, a lot of the games we play are like, 3 or 4 player. I'm not too worried about it just because we're doing the whole shift thing, and none of us are gonna mind sitting out of games here and there. For 48 hours, yeah. I think we're gonna be here. Am I crazy?
You are.
Oh.
I'm gonna end up leaving early if I get my work done because I have my days, but I am in until everything is caught up.
Hey, why are you dressed like a liberal today? I'm just kidding. All right, 7500F and 6600. Yeah, that's a great combo. Visit and bring coffee. That'd be great for the 48 hour. It's gonna be hype.
Will you bring me some at 4 a.m., Emily?
Oh, she would. I don't know about 4 a.m. Are they open that early?
I don't know. Probably.
That'd be a horrible time because I feel like you'll be relieved of your duty to go to bed at like probably 6 when Matt wakes up,
I don't know. On the last stream, Matt told me he'd be up at 6, and he didn't come in the room until 8:30.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I was just telling Chad how normally I'm probably gonna be the one. I feel like I'm in the in-between. I'll usually stay awake with you until, because like even at home, I'm like a 1 a.m. kind of guy. Past that, I'm not very good. I was like, Matt, on the other hand, I'm impressed at how late he can stay awake during the streams, but normally he's like a 9 a.m. guy. I think during the streams, there were times where he didn't go to bed till what, like 10 or 11?
Yeah, I remember during the last stream, there was like on one of the days, I streamed by myself for 5.5 hours.
Let's
and
go.
I was only expecting like, 3-ish, so I was like, oh. I was doing setup reviews, I was doing like giveaways, and I was just like, fuck.
February 20th to the 22nd. And it will be a subathon again, by the way, chat. So how that works for anyone wondering is basically for us to keep streaming each hour, we need a certain amount of subs. And that'll be very nicely laid out in a spreadsheet that you guys can look at. We're going to have sponsors for the stream too. So I know one of them is already, I think it's Fi-Fine. They want us to give away like multiple items. So like microphones, maybe like wireless labs and stuff like that, whatever else they make, sound mixers. And they'll be shipping them for us, which is great. We just have to pick the winners. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be giving away the PCBros Toasty Bros build. We're going to be giving away the 1X Player Sugar, whether you guys like it or not. I think Matt and I were joking and probably in all seriousness making that one of the very first, like maybe 8 hours in or something, But I think if we do anything like last time, it'll be 50 subs for every hour, which is a lot. I think that's what we did, right? Or was it 25? We'll have to check. Whatever that is divided by 48. Our goal was 960 subs, I believe. We ended up finishing the stream with a little over 1,000, or really close to 1,000. But the part of that was because Jawa came in and gifted 100, and then who is? Yeah, there was one other. I think J Sam may have gifted 100.
There's somebody else, I can't remember.
Was it General Electrics? The one that we were like, because I remember we were dissecting that like so much. I think it was during that stream. But anyways, guys, yeah, let's go ahead and send you guys off on a raid. Do we have a guide the raid? Let's see. I don't see one. All right. Yeah, don't forget, guys, we'll be live on Sunday doing our gaming stream. Don't know exactly what we'll be playing yet, but we got some good variety right now. We got Ready or Not. We've been playing like Age of Empire and Age of Mythology again. We may have Apex if Jonah or our buddy Noah's on. Noah just got a new PC, so he'll be willing to play anything now. We've been playing some Overwatch, so we got some really good variety to throw in there that you may or may not see on Sunday. But yeah, Sunday at 6 p.m., guys, that's when the next live stream is. I'm like going boomer mode right now. Twitch. Toasty Bros bot. What the hell? All right, let's do. What is this guy doing? Just chatting. What are we talking about, fam? I don't know. This person's playing Arc Raiders. Got Escape from Tarkov. Why are you playing that when Arc Raiders exist? Let's rate this person. They seem cool, and they're playing something different than Arc. There's a couple of people playing Arc, but I was kind of like, eh. We send you guys on enough Arc raids, right? All right, chat. So once again, I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. This PC will be listed at PCBros probably on Monday once Jonah's back in. And we'll be live again Sunday for the gaming stream. So see you guys Sunday. Peace out. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
All right. Toasty, holy! Oh my gosh, bro! Thank you so much, Toaster. How are you, brother? Lord, thank you, man. Seriously, that means so much to me. Thank you, brother.